Yeah, wow. Dylan's 2021 concert tour. We haven't heard from the dude for so long, for like a year. I thought the dude was dead. Unfortunately, he's still alive. It's part wishful thinking on my part. What are you gonna do? How many times has he wished that I was dead? Someday you'll be in the ditch, flies buzzing around your eyes. People pissing on my grave, opening their flies up and down and making that buzzing noise. Anyway, what are you going to do? Uh, I don't know what his story is really with this watching the river flow. Interesting song about how he was feeling at the time. I saw one guy on the street. He was really shook. I was the first one to hear that song. You know, that person on the street who was really shook was me. Then most likely you go your way and I'll go mine. Ah, time will tell who has fell and who's been left behind. When you go your way and I'll go mine. That was to his folks, fans, but it could also be to me. Because look, I'm here on YouTube, and Bob's a Nobel Prize winner, known throughout the world. Then he goes on to I contain multitudes and false prophet. I really haven't been able to analyze those songs yet. And then he goes into when I paint my masterpiece. The streets of Rome are filled with rubble, garbage. AJ's footprints are everywhere. You can almost think there's two of them on a cold, dark night on the Spanish stairs when you're trying to get high on smack. And it goes on and on. Newspaper men eating candy, being fed stories, had to be held down by big police. So, the priest wore black on the seventh day, Sunday, when we had Dylan's birthday party, and sat stone-faced while the building burned. I burned down his crib because so many people knew where he was living that he couldn't live there anymore. Ah, boy. I was a nasty dude. I waited for you on the running board when the spring term turned slowly into autumn. He beat me up on Elizabeth Street like a gangster on a running board. Idiot wind. Anyway, the laughter on Elizabeth Street. Then, so that when I paint my masterpiece, it's about the birthday party, and then Black Rider, which is about, a later predicament where, he uses living hard, guard, narrow to walk, block, all words that deal with prison. So he's happy that I went to prison. Then Black Rider, you've seen it all. You've been in the Great Wall. You've been rich and poor. You fell in the fire and eating a flame. Your assets were seized. Better seal up your lips if you want to stay in the game. Don't rat anybody out if you want to still deal pot after you get out of the joint. Black Rider, let's rest in black. I'm walking away. You're trying to make me look back. My heart is at rest. I like to keep it that way. I don't want to fight, at least not today. Go home to your wife. Stop visiting mine. After I ran into Sarah in front of McDougal Street, uh, she started yelling and screaming, and I told her, if you value your garbage so much, don't throw it out. She attacked a reporter from AP physically, you know, and so go home to your wife, stop visiting mine. One of these days I'll forget to be kind. I don't know, you call that kind? I don't call it kind. I call it downright nasty. Why, that sidewinder, he come and dry gulch me from behind. He kicked my behind. But in retrospect, I shouldn't have messed with his wife. He played this 16 times already. First played November 2nd. So, you think I'm obsessed with Dylan. He's obsessed with me. Yes, me. Of course, nobody believes that, Oh. But I played a very significant part in his career. I revived it, essentially, from Self-Portrait and John Wesley Harding days. Al, the records, they were staying on the shelves, Al, till you came along. I says, I know, Bob, but I'll figure out a way to reverse that. Unfortunately, I could never figure out a way, and he continued to rise to ultra stardom instead of being forgotten, lost and forgotten, like other folk rock singers of his ilk. So that's the story. I'm glad he's on tour. The guy is amazing. He's immunocompromised, yet he's doing this tour in a COVID environment. But I'm sure he's had his shots and his boosters and a booster for a booster. And, he's just, you don't know the half of it. You don't know how he influenced the election of Donald Trump and so many other things. But that's for another recording.